Ooh, what's up you guys? I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre. Welcome back to the channel and this Apex Legends video. Today we're going to be talking about the brand new legend we just received for Season 4, Revenant, the Synthetic Nightmare. This unique legend has a skill set that favors stealthy, aggressive approaches, and a tactical that will allow you to prevent legends from using their abilities, a powerful tool in any combat situation. Before we get into the video, if you guys are interested in staying up to date on Apex Legends news, tips and tricks, and epic gameplay, consider dropping a subscribe on the channel. If you enjoy this video, make sure you drop a like on it as well. And you'll also catch me streaming live on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings. Getting right into Revenant's abilities, first is his passive, the Stalker ability, which allows you to climb walls higher than other legends. There is a limit to this ability. It's about 2 times, 200%, what a standard legend can climb. But as you can see, there is a limit. You cannot climb infinitely, unlike when if you got to play the Shadowfall mode back in October of last year as a Shadow, you could climb walls infinitely. Revenant does not exactly have that ability. He can only climb walls about 2 times as high as another legend. And what this does is open up access to a lot of places that you could not climb with any other legend that only Revenant can get to. And this has so many applications inside the game. Not only can you aggress on people from peculiar angles that they would not normally have legends approaching from, but you can also escape, use it stealthily, and get out of situations. But you have to be willing to open up your eyes to the possibilities. Keep your eyes out for little ledges, things that are just thick enough to sit on. And there's a lot of ways to climb up on the outsides of these buildings that only other Revenants can possibly respect. Now, however, there are some limitations. What you need to be on the lookout for are ledges, outcroppings. I ran into this, I was just trying to climb up the Sippa wall here, even up this side, that has even just that tiny little fraction of outcropping. It does not allow you to climb such walls, which can be really, really frustrating. And so make sure you keep an eye out for the outcroppings before you think you're going to be able to climb up onto such walls. Now, climbing walls isn't the only part of the ability. The passive also gives you an enhanced crouch, which is the exact same speed as standard walking, and this is extremely powerful in, once again, a variety of situations, offensive, defensive. If you don't know this already, you are silent when you are crouch walking. You might be able to hear your own steps, but the enemies cannot hear your footsteps at all whatsoever. And so Revenant has the ability to very, very quickly close ground on an enemy without being heard at all. And this can give you some crazy epic saves and knocks on people who never saw you coming by pure virtue of the fact that, you used your little crouch walking. Just keep in mind that your friends will not be able to keep up with that speed, and so if you're trying to make this kind of approach, you should use it as some sort of flanking maneuver where the enemies are either distracted by your teammates or somebody else. They should not know you're coming from that direction. Moving on, we have Revenant's Tactical, which is the Silence, an area of effect throwable that will do a small amount of damage and also prevent the enemy from using their abilities for 10 seconds. Now, when you first pull this out, it seems like it slows you down, but you still have all your standard movement capabilities. You can even bring out your weapons, you can sprint, you can aim down sights, you can jump, you can crouch, you can slide, you can do any of the standard movements with this tactical out and held. You can even switch between your weapons, pull out throwables, so you can have your tactical loaded and a throwable at the same time, which could be a very powerful surprise attack. And if you want to cancel it, you simply press your melee button. Now, this doesn't exactly interrupt certain ultimates. Like you see Bloodhound here, he started his ultimate and it didn't get deactivated. Mirage here, he started his ultimate and he didn't get deactivated. But it will interrupt certain ultimates. Like Wraith here, if I hit her with this, she actually has her Void Portal cancelled. but she doesn't actually lose the ultimate entirely. Once the effect wears off, she can then use her void portal again. Now, this is just like in a combat situation, you want to use it to try to prevent people from escaping. That's the whole idea. You push into a fight and you toss out this tactical, and if it hits somebody, like for example I just hit this Octane, he no longer has the ability to juice up and quickly escape. He doesn't have that for 10 seconds, and so I'm able to catch him out here in the open and get 2 easy knocks and wipe this squad in Valentine's duos. It also just meant, generally makes people panic in the same kind of way that a gas cloud would or a lightning fence would. It gives you the shocking effect, it kind of gives you that little bit of pain, and so people will actually go out of their way to avoid this thing, and you can use it to block off paths. Like right there in that exact fight, I was fighting this Bangalore. She's coming at me here. I get a couple taps into her. I know she's pretty close to broken, and I want her to approach me on a specific side, so I block off the left with my tactical while pushing around the right side, giving her the only option of running right into my Eva 8 double tap and gets absolutely wrecked. And so you can use it to really control where the enemy goes, because they will go out of their way to avoid it. And you can also even use it to get that last little bit of damage. It does do a small amount, a nice 10 damage. And so if you've hit somebody for 90, you know they're one shot. They only got a little bit left. Don't be afraid to just toss that tactical out there and get the nice free knock. Moving on, we now have Revenant's ultimate ability, which is the Death Totem. When you put out the Death Totem and walk up to it, press the activate button, you are entered into Death Protection. You'll see the meter burning down on the screen, and when you're in Death Protection, any damage goes past your shields and goes straight to your body, and if you run out of that health, you get teleported back to the totem with 1 HP remaining. And this is a very interesting ability. It can be risky, but it also just helps you feel a little bit more confident in being able to push. There is a limit to the range of this ultimate. You'll see this blue line here that's on the ground in the middle of the fight. That's the radius of the ultimate. It's about 60 meters, and if you walk past this area, you will exit Death Protection. It will simply just turn off, and you will not have the ability to teleport back to the totem. So you can use it tactically, like maybe you're low on health and you just want to turn your shields back on and have that extra health right in the middle of the fight. Or maybe you just want to use it to go back and get your heals. Whatever the case is, the Death Totem allows you to just feel a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident pushing into a fight. And not only does it work for you, it works for everybody else too. And when I mean everybody else, I mean everybody else. Your teammates can use it, but your enemies can use it as well. So if you leave it out in the open, you can have enemies use your own Death Totem. You also want to be mindful of your level of health going into Death Protection, because you cannot use any healing items when you're in Death Protection. So you could put yourself in a really risky situation, depending on where you put that Death Totem down at. If it's wide out in the open, maybe somebody could be camping that Death Totem, or maybe you have a Caustic who's put their gas trap around the totem, or maybe a Watson has put a bunch of fences around the totem. In each and every one of those cases, you can get yourself screwed if you did not put your totem in the right place. But maybe you don't have time to pull the heals off. The Death Totem isn't a bad idea to get the free push and maybe be able to get the win in that fight. Like in that case right there, I was able to, even though we got snuck up from behind, pull the quick Death Totem off and then get the knock, get my heals off, pick my teammates back up. You do want to be very careful though of where you put it at in a game sense too. Right here, pushing into this final circle, I end up getting knocked by a Shadow Form Revenant, but this Shadow Form Revenant has left his Death Totem on the outside of the circle, and so as soon as he gets knocked, he goes back to his Death Totem, and he is instantly dead, and we got a free champion screen. because that guy wasn't intelligent enough to place his death totem inside the circle. This is actually a tip they put inside the loading screens for you, so make sure you're careful about where you put those things. Overall, this legend is very fun to use, and the power of his skill set is only limited by your own creativity. This is one of those legends where you don't have to be good to play as him, but if you are good, he is that much better. He is a legend who definitely benefits from knowledge of the map, awareness of, buildings, what you can climb, and then being able to block off areas and use your silence in effective ways to take down teams. And who knows what's coming next? Respawn Entertainment continues to impress with its unique set of legends and amazing story to follow up. If you want to keep up on all of that, find out when it comes out, consider subscribing to the channel. You guys will be seeing 2 videos on your screen right now. If you want to see more Apex Legends content, click on one of those. In the meantime, I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and I'm out.